Atop the field.
It is Friday, May 2nd, and the Yankees were back in the Bronx to take on the Tampa Bay Rays in the first of a 3-game weekend set. Max Fried on the mound looking to deliver another sharp performance. The Major League debut of Yorbit Vivas. Plus, we've got State of the Yanks with Terrence back in studio. My recap, your reactions coming up next. This is Pinstripe Territory.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
All right, start spreading the news. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, and welcome back to our regular Friday night co-host, Terrence Kehm. TK, Yankees just picked up a 3-0 win. Outstanding performance from Max Fried. 7 shutty, as the pitchers like to call it. 1 hit allowed, and 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. ERA down to 1.01. Doesn't get much better than that. How you doing, TK? TK, we're not hearing you. Hang on. Okay, go ahead.
You had me. I saw the little mute thing on my face. I was like, "Uh-oh, he's got me muted." But we're good. We're good. I'm here. Good to be back. Max Fried looking like he's worth every penny so far this season.
Absolutely. 32 games in. How you feeling about the Yankees season? I mean, is it what you expected? Are they doing better? Are they doing worse? Or is it about kind of what you expected?
I think given the injuries that they went into the season with, Cole going down and losing Luis Heel, and now Jazz Chisholm just went on the IL, obviously. So Stanton, all those things considered, I feel like they've played pretty well, and I'm pretty happy with where they're at so far in the season. They're in first place. There are a couple frustrating games here and there. Obviously, the game down in Tampa, where Devin Williams blew the lead. The 2 Devin Williams meltdowns are games that they should have had, they should have won. Those are frustrating, but my mindset is there's going to be a game in like June or something like that where they as Michael Kay likes to say, they take a win from the jaws of defeat. Something is going to kind of even out, so you got to be pretty happy with how they're playing so far.
Yeah, and you have to consider Max Fried, who was the pitcher of the month, by the way, a leading candidate for Cy Young so far. Before we get to the recap, Yorbit Vivas, Major League debut tonight. I thought he looked fine at second base, drew a couple of walks. Anything stand out to you?
Yeah, I think he looked pretty good, looked comfortable in the field, made a couple just slick, nice little plays. And I like that, the one thing, Jazz is going down. Obviously, he's probably going to be out 4 to 6 weeks, I would think, at least. It's a high-grade oblique.
Yeah, that's what Boone said today, 4 to 6.
Yeah, high-grade oblique for a hitter is definitely not great. It's kind of one of those things that's like a lingering injury. Yep. But Yorbit Vivas, Peraza, I expect those are 2 guys that are going to get quite a little run here to play a lot. And frankly, Derek, my mindset is play well enough where when Jazz gets activated, you DFA Pablo Reyes, because I think I'd rather have a Yorbit Vivas or an Oswald Peraza on the bench over a Pablo Reyes. That's just me.
Yeah, I agree with you, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
All right, let's go. Let's get it going.
Let's talk about the game. So I want to start with Ben Rice. Beautiful piece of hitting in the first inning. Opposite field double off the wall. 105-mile-an-hour exit velocity. The guy continues to just rake to all fields. I don't think he's going anywhere. We'll talk about this later, I'm sure, but with Stanton coming back, that decision gets closer and closer. It's looming, right? It's like when you got something on your mind and it's just kind of in the back of your mind, that rumbling thunderstorm at a picnic, right? That's off in the distance. Well, it's coming. Another pickoff for Max Fried in the second inning. I got to say, best Yankees pickoff move since Pettit. I mean, bar none. CeCe's was good. I mean, there were a few people who had good ones, but he's the best since Pettit for sure. Judge drilled one off the center field wall in the third inning, second triple of the year. He went 2 for 4 with a double and a triple. He's hitting .430, and we'll talk about his home run chase a little bit later on. Chandler Simpson slammed into the wall on that one, and I guarantee tomorrow during batting practice they're going to have that like Wile E. Coyote, like the outline on the wall from where he ran into it. I thought there was going to be a Chandler Simpson shaped hole in the wall. Line drive base hit for Volpe in the fourth inning, but the Yankees left 2 runners in scoring position. Rays didn't get their first hit until the 5th. I thought Oswaldo Cabrera played phenomenal on defense tonight. And the Yankees finally got on the board in the 5th inning, walked to Vivas, first time he ever reached base in his Major League career. And then Judge had another base hit over the third base bag. And then Paul Goldschmidt.
Gold standard.
The gold standard. 3-run jack into the short porch. He didn't hit a home run for a month, and now 2 days in a row with home runs, or 2 games in a row. And TK, I'm not sure if you saw the podcast where we did a series kickoff, but the prediction, the Nostradamus prediction tonight was Paul Goldschmidt homer.
Oh, I saw that.
Destiny fulfilled.
Third home run of the season. So you about to get hot, TK?
Dude, he's been hot. He's been hot.
But is he about to get hot with the home runs? I mean, I think the home runs are due.
Yeah, I could see it. Yeah, I think they're coming. They're coming. It's just that I think Goldie is a typical veteran hitter who doesn't really care about the home run. He kind of just takes what the pitcher gives him, and he'll protect on 0-2, and he'll just kind of go gap to gap, base hit. It's all about, I think, the RBIs for him. I think he'll end the season with 20 home runs. I don't think that's like an enormous number. But he's been, dude, just an absolute revelation for this team. A total upgrade over Anthony Rizzo. Sorry, Rizzo, great guy, but total upgrade over him at first.
He was done. He's been done for 2 years, man.
He was done. But Goldie looks like, he's got a little something left, man. There's a little something in there. And the Yankees, I'll give him credit where they were able to identify that and give him a very low risk, high reward deal. 1 year, 12.5. Gotta love it.
Yeah. I've had the thought, and this is probably a stupid thought because they're not going to do it. And I'm not even sure they should do it. But if the log jam for the roster kind of, starts to get complicated and you need to clear a spot for Ben Rice at first base, he could be a trade piece. Somebody might be looking for a big bat down the stretch. It's not a long-term commitment. I mean, it's you could probably get something for him, but I think the Yankees should just hang on to him because he's been the exact type of hitter that we want. 6th inning, Volpe walked and then stole second base, forced a bad throw and ended up on third base. I think that's the kind of baseball he should be playing more of, TK. Less swinging for the fences, more of that, line drive, gap to gap, line to line. Be a pest on the bases. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, 100%. We've been saying that. That's kind of the mold that I wanted him to follow. And if I was going to look at him hitting his ceiling, like being the leadoff guy at that point would be so annoying. If he could be the player that, we've seen him be at his best and he's in that leadoff spot, he'd be so annoying for opposing pitchers. But dude, Dustin Pedroia, that's kind of the player that I'd like to see. He's not a huge guy. Just give me good defense and go gap to gap. That's it. That's all I need from you. If you hit 10 home runs, great. That's all I care about. That's fine. I don't need 20 home runs from Anthony Volpe.
Nice job by Devin Williams in the 8th inning. I feel like the fastball usage has been better for him the last couple of times out. I have no problem with him pitching as the setup man, TK. Situations like this, I don't feel like he's going to melt down, but when there's no safety net, I feel like I'm not sure he's built for that moment with no safety net in New York. But, luckily we got Dreamweaver, took care of business. Thoughts on the Devin Williams Dreamweaver thing before we give out the hardware?
I'm totally fine with him kind of figuring it out in the low leverage situations. He's actually pitched pretty well in the low leverage situations, like while he's trying to work things out. Whenever I see him warming up in the bullpen, though, I do get like the Vietnam War flashbacks a little bit. I get a little bit of the Clay Holmes kind of PTSD. It happens, I will admit. However, I think Matt Blake was saying for him, like, command the fastball, and that's where it's at with him. He commands the fastball and sets you up in like in a pitcher's count, and then he busts out the dirty changeup. Like it's unhittable virtually. He's got great stuff. It's just he hadn't had the command to start the season, and then I think mentally he wasn't really able to kind of put it together. But I think that Michael Kay made a good point tonight where he thinks he'll figure it out just because of the second meltdown when they demoted him from the closer role. He had this post-game interview where he took it right on the chin and he was like, listen, I'm not earning the spot. You got to earn the closer spot every day because it's a different animal. It's a different beast. And Luke Weaver has obviously kind of taken that and run with it, and he obviously has the mental makeup to do it. But if we get, I'll say this, Derek, if we get Devin Williams, like Milwaukee Devin Williams, to pitch the 8th inning leading into Luke Weaver, dude, I am so down for that. I'm so down for that, especially with Fernando Cruz pitching the way he is. We're talking about a Cruz, Williams, Weaver, 7th, 8th, 9th. That's disgusting. That's like
and Loizaga coming back
monster.
soon. Yeah, Loizaga too, and we haven't seen much out of Hamilton, and guys like that. But there's additional depth. But Devin Williams, I agree, is a major part of it if he can put it together. And I don't even need to trade him if he's going to pitch well in the setup role, right? You can just, I mean, he's an immense amount of value in that. Anyway, Yankees take game one.
Game over. Yankees win. Yankees win.
We didn't talk a lot about Max Fried. We'll get to him in the pitcher spotlight, but TK, he was phenomenal tonight. 7 shutout innings. Just a wizard out there, just painting, mixing, matching. Goldschmidt with the 3-run home run. Those are really the 2 main candidates for the belt tonight. I'm going to let you go ahead and make the call.
Man of the hour, Max Fried.
There you go. And we have breaking news. For the first time in a long time, we have a belt leader that is not named Aaron Judge. It is Max Fried, who has 4. He is now 6-0 on the season with a 1.01 ERA. I mean, like you said before, money well spent, worth every penny. In fact, let's talk about him. I like to put graphics on the screen, TK. I feel like it adds a little bit of a visual element to the podcast to drive home some points. Occasionally, I'll have a typo. But if you're watching on YouTube, this is not a typo. His ERA this year is 1.01. 7 shutout innings, unhittable, TK.
Dude, he's been just a rock, an absolute rock, ace stopper. I'll ask you this question, Derek, because I was thinking about this during the game. This is plan B. Max Fried is plan B of the offseason. So
and Goldschmidt.
We'll go, and Goldschmidt as well, and Devin Williams as well, and Cody Bellinger, right? But Max Fried is a major part of plan B. I would say kind of the plan A of plan B, if that makes sense. But I'll ask this. We'll go to an alternate universe, and they signed Juan Soto, traitor, and Garrett Cole goes down with TJ, and they don't have Max Fried. Are they a better team? Probably not, man. Probably not, because they need every bit of Max Fried this season. I'm just talking about this season. I'm not talking about the future, just 2025.
That's a great point. I mean, if you believe in the many worlds theory of, quantum mechanics, in every, there's a reality where every possible outcome exists. And the scenario you're painting right now, if the Yankees didn't have Max Fried to go to, their rotation right now would be what? It would be Carlos Rodon, number 1.
The ace. Yeah.
Who would be number 2? I mean, Carlos Carrasco. I mean, Will Warren. I mean,
Stroman.
I mean, Stroman, yeah, he's on the IL too. I mean, let's assume everything is the same except for, Soto's playing for the Yankees. I mean, that would be an interesting scenario too. Like, if you had Soto still, right? Yeah, he's playing left field. Where's Dominguez? He's probably playing center field, right? Yeah. And then we don't have Bellinger. The team would just look. I don't think that team's as good. I don't.
No. I don't think that team is as well-rounded as this team is. There's some pieces missing due to injury. We know this, and I think that there's some things that will be addressed at the deadline. Derek and I will get into that, but I think if you're talking about just 2025, I'm not paying attention to any of the future years because that's a whole different conversation. I really think that especially the way Max Fried is pitching right now and the way Juan Soto is playing for the Mets right now too. If you consider that. Now, I think Soto would be playing better if he was still a Yankee. Yeah, Schmidt would still be in the rotation. But I think Soto would be playing better hitting in front of Judge. Like, that's neither here nor there. I also think he regrets it, but that's also different. But this team, I think, is better just because of Max Fried, because with Cole going down, man, that was a huge black hole in the rotation, and he's just come in and been a rock, man. And when you're thinking in the future, now I will go in the future, and we'll put this aside, as Cole and Fried as your 1 and 2, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And I think Garrett Cole's going to come back strong. He's a guy who understands how to pitch. So even if he's not 100% full strength right at the beginning, I have every confidence that he'll put it together. Okay, so we're going to do State of the Yanks, which is what we do where we run down a bunch of different topics. We're going to talk about Spencer Jones, who made an adjustment to his stance. We're going to talk about the Outfield Log Jam. We're going to kind of go through, what we've seen from Dominguez and his switch hitting and all that stuff. We're going to dive into Aaron Judge, which I don't think we've done yet. And then we'll we each got a couple of guys on our trade wish list that we'll go over. But first, I'm going to go ahead and get the ad out of the way from Nutrafol, and then we'll be back with State of the Yanks.
Hair thinning is very common, very frustrating problem that many men deal with. From stress and nutrition to hormones to lifestyle, so many internal factors affect what you see on the outside. Luckily, Nutrafol is here to help.
Thinning hair is different for men and women, so a one-size-fits-all approach to their hair growth doesn't cut it. Nutrafol has multiple formulas for men and women that are tailored to different life stages and lifestyle factors.
Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement brand trusted by over 1.5 million people. See thicker, stronger, faster-growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol.
Start your hair growth journey with Nutrafol for a limited time. Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code FOUL. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code FOUL.
You like that little State of the Yanks? That's actually me. It's me I did the Freddy Krueger effect. That's you right? Right? I didn't know my voice could get that deep. But all right, so we're gonna just kind of tackle some of the main storylines here, and let the chips fall where they may. And in case you're new to the show, we are gonna be doing this pretty much every Friday night for the entire season, so that if you're busy during the week and you miss a few stories, we're going to talk about some things that maybe made some headlines. So let's begin with Spencer Jones. So for those of you who are watching on YouTube, you can obviously see this. If you're listening, Spencer Jones has made a radical adjustment to his stance. He used to be, not entirely straight up, a slight bend at the knees, kind of hanging out over the plate, and pretty much a closed stance. His right heel is slightly ahead of his left heel as a left-handed hitter, so it's kind of a closed stance. He has gone to an almost Brian Giles-like left-handed stance where it is wide open. And, I mean, look at his thighs, dude. I had no idea his legs were that big. I mean, he's thick with 2 C's. But, it seems to be working, TK. He's been mashing since he made the adjustment. And, hey, he had to do something.
Yeah, man. Baseball's a game of adjustments. I had a coach tell me the difference between each level in baseball is AA, you make adjustments every game. AAA, you make adjustments every at-bat. And in the majors, you make adjustments every pitch. So I think that's kind of what we're seeing here a little bit. But, look, I don't care what he looks like when he hits, as long as he hits. Kevin Youkilis was holding the bat like this with like one hand up here and doing this crazy stuff, Greek god of walks, whatever. And he still was a pretty solid major league player. So I don't care what he looks like, as long as he hits the ball, and he's hit pretty well. Now, what I don't like, you've probably seen this, Derek, where people are putting like the Judge swing next to the Jones swing. And yes, it does look similar in terms of the whole like teacher man kind of like school of thought where you kind of step in and they look like similar swings mirrored. I understand.
Yeah.
But we're talking about Aaron Judge being like a Barry Bonds level player right now. Right. I don't want to put these expectations on Spencer Jones. I was super high on Spencer Jones. Now, last season I cooled off a little bit because he struck out a lot, and that's not what you want to see. But if he cuts down on the strikeouts, Derek, does well in AAA, I want to see Spencer Jones because I think his athleticism will do really well in the outfield. He's got great speed, good glove. He's got obvious lefty power. If he can hit the ball, hey man, let's see it. Let's see it.
Let me drop this in here. So THG Wicked 50 Cal, one of our longtime mods, says, what advantage does it provide him to change his stance? There is one thing I can think of. If you look at how his head is positioned, look how he's looking more directly at the pitcher in the frame with the open stance. If you're looking with both eyes, right, I feel like you get a better view of the pitcher. It may be, as a left-handed person, that his left eye is his dominant eye, right? And that could be a reason he's striking out so much. So they want to get that left eye a little bit more focused on the baseball. That's my theory, but there's a lot of reasons why this could happen. A lot of reasons.
He more comfortable. But yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with just he's seeing the ball better. Usually that happens when
Yep.
you open up your stance. He's breathing out of the right eyelid. If
It's
you know
all
about
right
Bull
there in front
Durham.
of us.
So I think that it has a lot to do with that. But yeah, it's mostly just like seeing the ball come out of the pitcher's hand a little bit better, especially when you're facing a lefty as a lefty. That too,
Yeah.
because if it's like a crazy sidearm guy lefty, it's like almost coming across the box. So I think this just like helps him see the ball a little bit better.
So let's talk about the outfield logjam. So Trent Grisham, I want to talk about whether or not he's actually for real. Bellinger off to kind of a slow start. I mean, I thought he had some pathetic at-bats in Baltimore. It didn't do much tonight. Dominguez seems to be the odd man out, and I want to talk about whether or not that's fair. I feel like he should be getting more playing time, even though Dominguez doesn't make as much money as Bellinger does. I feel like he's more vital to the long-term future of the team, and I don't want to stunt his growth. And then another possibility is, when Stanton comes back, if you do opt to go with that platoon situation where you've got, let's say, Ben Rice as the DH against righties and Stanton as the DH against lefties, but against a righty, maybe they go to a lefty late in the game to pitch to Dominguez. That guy has to stay in there and face three hitters. Well, maybe you bring in Stanton to hit for Dominguez. That's a way to get him more at bats. You're not going to go out into the field, obviously. You'd stick somebody else out in the outfield after that. So I just kind of want to get your thoughts on all of this. Let's start with Grisham and then work our way down.
I don't know, man. It's a really complicated situation. It's a quote unquote good problem to have, but it's a problem nonetheless. And Trent Grisham, I can't say if he's for real or not. It's May 2nd. So yeah, we've played a month of baseball, but it's still very, very early in the season. But I think in this situation, Derek, I think it's kind of like ride the hot hand. I think you just kind of have to keep playing who's playing well, because I don't really think there is a better than perfect way to go about this outfield logjam. I think it's just kind of ride the hot hand, kind of like they do in basketball. The guy gets the final shot of the quarter. It's like who's hot. I think that's just the best way to go about it. And I think it's also like a good message to your players. You play well, you play. That's it, period. I don't really think that it's more complicated than that. I don't think it should be more complicated than that. Trent Grisham has played incredibly well. He's obviously a plus defender. Honestly, before his hot start, you were putting him out there because of his defense, but it looks like he's hitting his weight, so keep playing him. Dominguez, he's a young player. Is it unfair? Yeah, I think it's unfair because they gave Volpe such a rope. But the thing with Volpe was it's like he kind of locked down the shortstop spot, and there wasn't really anybody else competing with him for playing short. It's just like he was the shortstop. So Dominguez is kind of having a harder time getting in there, but I think it's really just ride the hot hand, man. Like that's the best way to go about it.
What do you think about the Stanton idea of just having him hit against lefties pretty much?
Yeah, I think that's the only way you got to go, because you just can't take Ben Rice's bat out of the lineup. You just can't. And you can't take
100%.
Goldschmidt's bat out of the lineup either. I guess Rice can catch if you really want to get creative too, and maybe give Wells and Ascara a night off or whatever, and have Rice catch and Goldschmidt play first, and Stanton DH, Dominguez left, and and then Belly center. But then it's like, oh well, Grisham's not playing, but somebody may be cold at that point. So I think it's really going to be kind of Russian roulette of who sits and ride the hot hand. That would be the way I go about it. And yeah, if they're both hot, if Stanton and Rice are both hot, I would do the platoon situation. But Stanton's going to be terrible for a month when he comes back. So
yeah. So here's the thing with Dominguez. From the right side, he has been awful, and we've expressed some concern over this in the past. So. Do you think that at some point they're going to tell him, all right, just hit from the left side against lefties? They did that with Oswaldo Cabrera. It took a while, but for the most part, he hits predominantly lefty. He'll still, hit righties sometimes against lefties, but he'll also hit lefty against some lefties too, which is unusual for a switch hitter. I don't think that they should have him give up on it this year. I think you give him a full year and hope that he improves, and then maybe even give him winter ball or like halfway through spring training to make adjustments to the bat path or whatever, and then reevaluate next year. But I can't see them telling him to bag it this early in his rookie season.
Yeah, I don't think they'll tell him to bag it this early in his career either, just because he's so young and he hasn't really gotten a ton of at-bats from the right side due to many arrays of problems. He lost a year of the minors due to COVID, and obviously Tommy John surgery, so he missed a lot of development time, but I do think he is ready for the majors. I think the best way to go about it is to go the Oswaldo route, where you hit lefties against certain lefties, and I would think that then it just kind of figures itself out, because if he's hitting lefties against certain lefties and he's mashing that way, then I would just be like, you're a lefty.
Yeah.
If you look a lot more comfortable like that too.
100%. All right, let's
It's all right there in front of us.
Let's have some fun with Aaron Judge. His revenge tour continues. He is now hitting .430. He's got 10 home runs. I don't think he's going to hit 400, man. Everybody's talking about it. Like, that is so hard to do. But here's the thing. He's got so much power, and he's so good at drawing walks that he's going to get pitched carefully. So, like, his average goes up as the year goes on because he starts getting walked more as he starts to creep towards, like, 50, 60 home runs. I don't know if the power is going to be the power is, like, physically still there, but I don't know if the home run totals are going to be what they were the last couple of years because he doesn't have the protection right now in the lineup. Maybe that changes when Stanton comes back, or maybe Bellinger gets hot. But if you had to predict his final average and home run total as of right now, a month into the season, month and some change, what would you say?
371 average with 69 home runs. Nice. 371 average, 69 home runs.
Wow, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I don't think he's hitting that many homers. He'd have to have about 15 by now. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say 364, 54, 55 home runs. Let's say 364 with 55 home runs. Still good enough to win the MVP. Still going to be a solid year. Let me know in the chat what your predictions are. And John Daniel Munoz says Aaron Judge with dad strength is unreal.
Yeah, man.
Congrats to Aaron Judge. But as Frankie says, it's fun to dream. That's what sports is about. For as long as he's over 400, we can dream. I remember when Bryce Harper was giving his interview for that E60 or whatever it's called when he was still a teenager, he was talking about how when he got to the majors, he's like, I want to hit 430. And I was like, nobody will ever hit 430. Here we are, Judge, 32 games into the year, hitting 430. All right. So final thing for the night. Before we get to your audience reactions, we got a few voicemails that I want to play. Trade targets for the Yankees. So I asked you, TK, to put together your thoughts on two guys. I'll just go ahead and throw mine out there real quick, and then I'll let you kind of take over. So my two are Josh Smith, who the Yankees traded away, who is currently with the Rangers. I think they could get him because the Rangers have a lot of infielders, and right now he's not a starting infielder. He's more of a utility guy, but I think you could play him at third, and I think you could get him. He's hitting .299 with a .386 on-base percentage, 2 home runs, and an .815 OPS. He is a left-handed hitter. And then Pablo Lopez from the Twins. He's 2-2 with a 2.25 ERA in 5 starts, 1.00 WHIP. And the Twins are bad. They're always bad, and he makes money. So obviously they would want to get rid of him. What are your thoughts on, one, my trades and who your targets are?
I like your trades. How much is Pablo Lopez making? Would be.
Give me a second.
question.
I'll find out. Yeah.
But I like it. You obviously. I think third base is a definite need. Ideally, a right-handed bat because the Yankees are quite left-handed at this moment. And
21 million.
21 million. Okay. And how many years on that, Derek? Sorry.
So he's got 3 years, including this year. So 2 years after this, and he's still in his 20s. So he's still rather young.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I like it. Pablo Lopez is really good, and I think that he would pitch probably pretty well. And Josh Smith, you need a third baseman, I think, hands down. Mine are going to be Ryan McMahon because the Rockies are like literally, they might be worse than the 2024 Chicago White Sox, dude. It's on the table. He's playing pretty well. Average exit velocity, I'm looking at his Savant page right now, in the 93rd percentile. So he hits the ball hard, but he's got pretty poor batting run value. His fielding run value is good. Base running value is kind of just a tick above average. And he strikes out a lot, but he walks a lot, and he's got good bat speed. So 30 years old, I think he could be solid. I don't know if it's the Coors effect or something, but I don't think it's like a huge ask to get him to play third. And my pitcher, I've said this before, Luis Severino reunion.
Love it.
The guy is making $20 million this year, $25 million next year, and there is a player option for 2027 at $22 million. He's just 31 years old now. He's obviously been a Yankee before. He's pitched for the Yankees and the Mets, so he's pitched in big moments. The guy is electric in the playoffs when he's on. Electric. And I think you could use kind of that high energy. And I like him because, yeah, he starts. Obviously, he's a starter, but I think he'd be a really good bullpen piece too. So there's some maneuverability there. There's a little bit of a Swiss Army knife in him there. And that would be the pitcher that I want, is Luis Severino to come back and reunion with the Yankees.
Yeah, I love the idea. It was one that I wanted to pick, but I knew you were going to pick it, so I didn't pick it. But yeah, I would love to see that move happen. All right. Okay, so a few things. We're going to play a couple voicemails here. We got one from Bobby the Bear down there in Atlanta.
Hey, Derek. This is Bobby the Bear in Atlanta calling you from my office. What a homer by Goldie. Holy smokes. This game is over. Bye-bye, Tampa.
He's correct.
Goldie Bear, Goldie Locks, the ball-head weasel. Get that man signed for another year. Later, dude.
I like Goldie Knox as his nickname. I think that's a fire nickname.
That's good.
All right, so we got Farmington about Yorbit Vivas.
Yes, hi, Derek. Steve calling from Farmington, Maine. Very excited about Yorbit Vivas. I think he might be the best option we have at third base, at least maybe some kind of a platoon if LeMay, whoever comes back. But an interesting thing about Jazz Chisholm, if you notice, after he hurt his rib cage, the very next pitch, he kind of cut down on his swing. You know, a 250-foot line drive double down the line. I wish he would learn something from that.
100%. Yeah, I mean that's a great call. So obviously, you know, we've got Vivas playing second base, not third base. So we'll forgive him for that, for not seeing the lineup. But he's got a point with Jazz. Like, Jazz did cut down his swing because it obviously hurt to swing, and he ripped one into the corner. That shows you what's possible. I think that's a really good takeaway, TK.
Yeah, he does have a little bit of a hitch in his swing. I think if he was a bit quicker to the ball, then it would probably be a little bit better an adjustment he can make. Honestly, he should be just focusing on obviously getting healthy at this point. But yeah, I think he's also so athletic, Derek, that like he gets his hands through so quick that he kind of makes up for it. But I think he'd be even better, yeah, if he cut down on that a little bit. But it's like kind of a big ask to do in the middle of a season. I feel like that's like you're totally deconstructing your mechanics and like changing things and putting it back together. It's usually something that you're doing in like spring training. It's not unheard of to do it in the middle of the season, but it's hard. It's hard to make an adjustment like that in the middle of the season.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we're getting some comments about Augustin Ramirez. Have you seen what he's doing with the Marlins? So the guy that they traded as part of the Jazz package, he's got 3 home runs. He's hitting about 300 so far. I mean, he's murdering the baseball. He had, I think, like 6 or 8 extra base hits out of his first 15 at bats. I'll pull up his numbers, but and if you watch him swing, it looks exactly like Gleyber, or not, like Gary Sanchez. So he's hitting 290 with 3 home runs in his first 31 at bats. He's also got 4 doubles, so he's raking right now. Hang on, I'm gonna show you his swing. I'm gonna pull up Baseball Savant real quick. They should have a couple of his.
Perfect Chicken makes a good point, though. There would be no spot for him on this team if we still had him, to be honest.
100%. I'm gonna show you this home run though, just so you can see.
But good for him. Happy for him.
Watch this bit. This is such a Gary Sanchez swing. Was that not the most Gary Sanchez follow through of all time? Watch this. Let's watch it again.
Oh, I'm not seeing.
Oh, you can't see it. Oh, sorry. I forgot to share my screen. There we go. That was a brilliant move. All right, here we go. So, breaking ball down and away. Look at that follow through.
Oh,
I'm gonna play that again.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That is such a Gary Sanchez swing. You could tell he's out of the Yankees system. And that was a dong, too. That was a dong. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Join me and TK every Friday night right here on Pinstripe Territory. We'll go over some various storylines. And let us know in the comments what you want us to talk about this week. Just say, hey, topic for you and TK for Friday night. Bam. Lamma ding dong. And we will add it to the list. TK, thanks for joining. Any final thoughts here?
Keep winning. Keep winning.
Keep winning, baby. Keep winning.
Yankees win. Yankees win.
I'll give the final word of the night to Frankie Baseball, who says, let's go Knicks.
I just read that, but yeah, let's go Knicks. Against
See you
the
later.
Celtics rounds. See ya.
Hey, while I've got you here, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Pinstripe Territory is the official Yankees podcast of the Foul Territory Network. We are home to the #1 most watched MLB postgame show on YouTube since 2021. We're here after every Yankees game and for reactions to all the best news and rumors during the offseason. Be a part of the show by calling into the voicemail 718-899-1068. Try to keep it clean for me. And if you ever miss us on YouTube, be sure and subscribe on all your favorite podcast platforms. Go ahead and rate us 5 stars. It'll help other people find the show. Thanks for watching. See ya.